Well, we've seen in previous videos how you can use the selection tool, the arrow at the top of the toolbar, to click and drag on the beginning or ending of a clip to change the in or out points once you've got it in the timeline. When you click on the edit between two clips, you get a little red bracket icon. Your cursor becomes a little red bracket icon, and you can drag left or right to either shorten or lengthen the clip in the timeline. If you do that, you open up a gap in some cases between clips. And what if I need to edit the in or out point, but I don't want to open up that gap? I just want to kind of shift the ending point of the outgoing clip and the incoming point of the subsequent clip. In other words, I don't want to change the overall duration. I just want to change the transition between those two clips. Here's a good example. So there's this segment here where Chuck is talking, and he kind of goes, groan. So let me play through it. You'll see what I mean. Back up a little bit.
Once the kids were grown, and we...
So that pause there, once the kids were grown, I want to kind of clean that up a little bit. Now, I could just chop up the video and then move things around and stuff like that, but I'm actually going to do this using a tool called the Ripple Edit tool. There is a tool in the toolbar called the Ripple Edit tool. You'll see it here below the Move tool. It's the third one down from the top. If you click and hold on that tool, there's a couple variations there, ripple and roll and rate stretch. But Ripple Edit tool is keyboard shortcut B. Now, you could switch back and forth between the selection tool, which is the keyboard shortcut V like victory, and the Ripple Edit tool B. But an easier way to work is to just keep your selection tool active. So tap the letter V for victory to activate the selection tool. And when you hold down the Command on Mac or Control key on the Windows computer, click on a clip and position your cursor on either side of the edit point. Now, in my case here, the edit between these two clips is lit up in red at the moment here. If I position my cursor either to the left of that edit or to the right of that edit, click and drag, I'm actually getting the ripple edit. So it's kind of a temporary ripple edit. And what it's doing is I click and drag, I position my cursor just to the left of that edit. I'm going to click and drag to the left to try and get rid of that that hump there that you see. That's where Chuck says And in doing that, what it's doing is removing that portion of the outgoing clip, and it's moving everything else over to the left to fill in the gap. So I don't have to shift everything around. Premiere is doing that for me automatically. So let me undo that for a second here, do it again so you can see what's happening. I'm going to hold down the Command key, Control on Windows, position my cursor to the left of that edit. It's now lit up in yellow. Here we go. Click and drag to the left, and that's shortening this clip. I'm going to drag it to about here and see what it sounds like. So it's taken out all of the outgoing clip from this point to the right, and it's pulled the incoming clip in to fill the gap. Let's see how that plays now.
Once the kids were grown and...
Much better, much better. Let me undo it and play it once more so you can hear the before.
Grown.
Let's back it up a little bit.
The kids were grown.
Okay, and let's play it with our edit in place now.
Once the kids were grown, and
much cleaner, much smoother. So this is the type of editing that you will frequently do to tidy up or to clean up or to trim in your timeline. And the Ripple Edit tool and its counterpart, the Roll Edit tool, can be really useful for cleaning this up more or less effortlessly. You're not having to cut out bits and pieces and then move things around. Using the Ripple Edit tool kind of helps you with that process without a bunch of extra clicks. So try the Ripple Edit tool. Again, the best way to do it is to keep your selection tool active. That's the arrow tool in the toolbar. V is the shortcut. And when you need the Ripple Edit, just hold down Command on the Mac or Control on the Windows computer. Position your cursor to the left or right of your edit point, depending on which way you want to drag, which way you want to shorten or lengthen, and click and drag. So holding down that Control key or Command key on the Mac, it's a great shortcut for improving efficiency.